Hashem's name will be blessed forever and ever. Omer, number 3. We are going to discuss, Be'ezrat Hashem, finish talking about the counting of the Omer. And next we move to what is permitted, what is not permitted during these days. It's a special days that we avoid. So people avoiding cutting their hair or trimming the hair or the beard, and no celebration, no music. Well, you were wondering what's the reason. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we have to discuss all that. And next we're going to move to the Rabbi. Thank you very much. To Be'ezrat Hashem, the laws of Chag Shavuot. Okay, so we are on halacha chaf aleph. What would be the case if someone has a doubt in his mind if he counted the Omer or not? Did I count the Omer or I didn't count the Omer? Okay, so he's wondering with himself if he needs to count the Omer with a bracha or without a bracha, or not to count at all. What will be the case if someone has a doubt on any evening? Okay, if someone cannot remember, and it happens many times, that people wonder with themselves, especially when the Rabbi is announcing Sfirat HaOmer. So, okay, because that's something we used to. Did I count the Omer? Yesterday, on any evening, if someone cannot remember whether he counted the days of the Omer on the previous evening, and he knows that he did not count during the day, that he knows for sure, he may nevertheless continue to count and to receive the blessing over the mitzvah. Okay? This is because there is a safek sfeika. Safek sfeika, it's a term in the halacha. You have two doubts. Safek, it's a doubt. Sfeika is a, maybe, we'll explain it actually. Because there's a safek sfeika, to allow him to continue reciting the blessing. First of all, he might have counted on the previous night. Even if he had skipped a day and not counted, perhaps the halacha is like the opinion of the Tosfot or the Rambam, that each day's counting is it's independent mitzvah, okay? And he has an obligation to count tonight, even if he had not counted on the previous night. What's the meaning of independent mitzvah? You understand what I'm saying?
Every day is a mitzvah.
Every day is a mitzvah, so it's not related to the day after before. Did I count? It doesn't matter. Today is a new mitzvah. But the opinion, according to the Shulchan Aruch, we follow that they are connected. Baruch atah Eloheinu Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niya b'dvoro. Amen. Boys, can you move over here, please? Do you mind sitting here? Yeah. And you guys seem closer. Can you fix this table?
We're going to do all the things.
This is the women's section. Okay. Amy, take control.
I'm taking control.
Rabbi,
I don't understand why I always have to have Amy doing the heavy lifting.
Rob, question.
Yeah.
What if it's later on that same evening and you're not sure if you said the bracha? Can you say it a second time?
It's a sfek sfeika, the same evening. What do you mean same evening? I'm talking about the same evening.
You're not sure if you did it.
Yes. Did I count yesterday? I didn't count yesterday. I was in a trip. I was in an airplane. Usually when in the shul, there's no problem. So the halacha is you count from that reason. Maybe it's an independent mitzvah, like the Rambam says, every day by itself. It's not related to the mitzvah before, okay? The safek sfeika is coupled with the opinion of Rabbeinu Yitzchak Al-Fasi, the Rambam, and Rabbeinu Avia Ezri, that the mitzvah of counting the days of the Omer is a Torah ordained mitzvah. Even in our era, since he might have counted on the previous evening, we assume the stringent position, Safek Deoraita Lechumra, that he is obligated by the Torah to count on this night as well. It's very important that you'll know these words. Safek Deoraita Lechumra. Safek Derabanan Lekula. You need to know this by heart, these three words. It's many of the halachot based on these terms, on these words. Safek that if you have a safek, you have a doubt, and the mitzvah is from the Torah, you have to be stringent. For example, saying Birkat HaMazon. What's Birkat HaMazon, Rachel? What's Birkat HaMazon? Nachon, right. That's what I mean. Let's say you have doubt, Rachel, okay? And you're not sure. Did I say the bracha or I didn't? The mitzvah of Birkat HaMazon is from the Torah or it's a rabbinical? From the Torah. Torah says, V'achalta v'savata, you ate, you satisfy, you say bracha. If you have a doubt, you must say it again. Because we are anything that is related to a mitzvah directly from the Torah, we are stringent. Did I say bracha? No, it's from the Torah. Say it again. Even if after that turns out that you say it twice, it's okay. We had to be stringent at the time you had the doubt. Fine? If a mitzvah is from Rabbanan, the rabbi, they established the mitzvah, so you don't say a bracha. For example, did I say she'akol niya bidvaro? It's a mitzvah from the Torah or from the Rabbanan? Rabbis. So what you would tell me? Don't say bracha. Because sofek, the Rabbanan, a rabbi, we have a doubt. Rabbis established laws, you've been lenient. So God forbid, you don't mention Hashem's name. So what will be so bad if you just say the bracha again? What's the big deal? No. We don't want to say Hashem's name in vain. So safek deoraita lechumra, deoraita Torah lechumra, we have to be more stringent. Safek derabanan lekula, like cool, being cool. Cool, meaning you have to be soft about it. Make sense? Please remember these three words. Safek deoraita lechumra, safek deoraita lekula.
What if you don't know if it's from the Torah or the Rabbi?
Okay, so you treat it as a doubt, like it's Rabbanan, and you don't say. This is why I have to learn. You have to learn Torah every day, so you know. Okay? Most of the brachot are from the rabbin. It's a rabbinical institute. Okay? The rabbi established the brachot. Any questions so far? Okay, we got it? So, remember these, safek deoraita lechumra and safek deoraita lekula. It's the same safek just lechumra or lekula. What if the safek, the doubt is, not if you count. The doubt is that, last night, did I count the right numbers? Because the rabbi now is saying 18, and I think last night we did 16. It happens all the time, right? So, likewise, if someone knows that he counted the days of the Omer on the previous night, evening, but he suspects that he might have counted the incorrect number, he may nevertheless continue to perform the mitzvah and to receive the blessing over it. This is the case even if he is certain that he did not count the correct number during the day. Wow, I was supposed to do this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to skip that. We got the idea here. Okay. I'm going to skip the halachot that they are rare. Okay? You know what, maybe 24 is not so rare. It happens sometimes, the people when they're about to start Arvit, Tefillah, and it's a twilight time. It's not night, it's not day, it's in between. So, oh my God, we are about to count the Omer in 15 minutes, and we count the Omer last night. What you should do? Is it too late?
No.
The halacha says, if someone forgot to count the days of the Omer during both the night and the day, and he realized it only during twilight of the following evening. You understand the case?
Yes.
He should immediately count the number of the days for the previous day, but without reciting a blessing. Today is 16 days to the Omer, which is 2 weeks and 2 days. All right? You should say that without bracha. Then, after dusk, he may count the next number, and he may recite the blessing before counting. But it brings you to a very interesting situation. Listen to this. If this actually happens to someone, it is best that he make sure to count the remainder of the days of the Omer from that day on, from now on, only after dusk and not during twilight. Since on this occasion, he counted the previous number during twilight as if twilight is part of the previous day. He should not contradict himself by counting another day's number during the twilight as if twilight is already night. So you put yourself in the position that from now on you have to be after nightfall.
Be late all the time.
Okay, because it belongs to the day before. It's early for you. For now it's early. You created a situation that you make it too early. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so let me skip all the rest. We're talking about it's within the 30.5 sessional hours. If night, let's say, not nightfall, no. Sunset. When sunset is at 7, you have till 7:13 and a half. 7:13 and a half. That's considered twilight. That you can play with the blessing. Play. After that, you can't do it anymore. You missed. So what's going to happen? You just listen to the bracha. You say Amen. From that point on, you count without bracha. So you're missing some of the mitzvah. Okay. Someone asked a question, Rabbi, I'm counting in my heart. I didn't say it out loud. I didn't hear. I'm looking with my eyes on the siddur, and I'm reading it with my heart. I'm counting mentally, not verbally. Did he fulfill the mitzvah? Like you read a book. When you read a book, you just use your eyes, right? So, the halacha is, in order to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the days of the Omer, one must count verbally. If someone counted mentally but did not verbalize the words, he has not fulfilled the mitzvah. The general rule is that thinking cannot be considered equal to speaking. Right? This person must count the days of the Omer again. You see here in the shul, or many other shul does that, maybe all of them. The rabbi counts. We're listening, we're saying Amen. He finishes, and then we start. Baruch atah Omer Hayo. Everybody say it out loud. For that reason. Okay. This time, okay. This time, verbally, okay, I'm sorry. The general rule is that thinking cannot be considered equal to speaking. This person must count the days of the Omer again, this time verbally, and he must recite the blessing when he does so, even though he has already attempted to fulfill the mitzvah by thinking the words. The preferred manner of performing this mitzvah is to say the words loud enough to hear them himself. If someone uttered the words silently and did not hear himself, however, he has nevertheless fulfilled the mitzvah. Because what do you do? At least he moved his lips. Okay? The best is to hear what you're saying. Someone was writing a letter. When I say someone writing a letter, it sounds funny to some people, but it was very common before phones. Someone was writing a letter, or someone was writing an email, okay? Or a text message. And he wrote that on that text message, or an email, the days. Shalom, today is so-and-so to the Omer. And then after he says, maybe I already count the Omer by saying that. Because I already mentioned there the names of the days, the numbers of the weeks, everything. Is that considered as counting the Omer by writing it?
No, because it doesn't
So, if someone wrote a letter, text, email, one evening, and in the heading of he added, today is this and this many days of the Omer. For you, it makes no sense, but in Israel or some other religious people, they do write it. You need to know that. But he forgot to count the days verbally and did not realize it until the next night. Okay, what was the case? He wrote a text, and they says, "Oh, I forgot. I didn't count out loud, and I didn't count all the whole day. But I remember I sent an email. Maybe that count. Maybe that count. You understand the situation?
Yeah, they didn't have a bracha with it, right?
Huh?
He just wrote it. He didn't say like the whole bracha.
He just wrote it.
Yeah.
So listen to him. But he forgot to count the days verbally and did not realize it until next night. He must nevertheless recite the blessing on the remainder of the days, of the nights, of the period of the Omer. This is the halacha, even if he had written only the number of days and had not written the number of weeks. Even though some poskim rule that if someone counted only the days but not the weeks, he has not fulfilled the mitzvah at all, as is explained in Halacha 34. In this case, he may nevertheless continue to recite the blessing when counting the remainder of the days of the Omer. Because there's an argument among the rabbis if writing has the power like talking and the whole thing about that. So he might, according to Halacha, he can continue. At least he was writing it. So he can rely on that and continue with a beracha. Okay? Now, remember we said if someone asks you, how much we counting tonight? What you should say? Yesterday was. But this guy answered, today we counting 17. Ooh. Is that considered that he counted already?
Yes. According to some.
If it is evening, after sunset, and two people have not yet counted the days of the Omer, and one of them asks the other, how many days of the Omer is it tonight? The other person should reply, yesterday was X number of days. If he would reply, today is X number of days, he will no longer be able to recite the blessing over the mitzvah of counting the days of the Omer that evening. Once he has made that statement, he has fulfilled the mitzvah even though he did not recite the blessing. So it's not a blessing bound. It's not connected to the blessing. Okay? You already counted days. Let me finish. It makes no difference in which language he replies to his friend, since the mitzvah of counting the days of the Omer can be fulfilled in any language. As explained above in Halacha 14, that we actually said you have to read it in the language you understand. Right? If someone replies, today is X number of days in any language, he will no longer be able to recite the blessing that evening when he wishes to fulfill the mitzvah. If his reply was simply X number, let's say how many days today? He says 17. He didn't say today is 17 days to the Omer. If his reply was simply X number, 17, and he did not say today is, he has not yet fulfilled the mitzvah according to some poskim, and therefore he must recite the blessing when he wishes to fulfill it. Likewise, if he specifically had in mind when replying to his friend's question, that he does not wish to fulfill the mitzvah at this moment, he must recite the blessing later when he does fulfill it. Like we do in the shul when we hear the rabbi or the counting, we have in mind not to fulfill the mitzvah by listening to him. Unless you can't say bracha anymore, so you want to be part of his bracha. Furthermore, if he replied, tomorrow will be X number of days. What do you usually say? Yesterday was 16. But if today is 17, he says, tomorrow is going to be 18. He didn't say yesterday, he says tomorrow. Furthermore, if he replied, tomorrow will be X number of days, he must afterward recite the blessing when he fulfills the mitzvah. All this applies during the first 6 days of the period of the Omer. After that, if a person replies, today is X number of days, without adding how many weeks it is, in any case, he must recite the blessing when he fulfills the mitzvah afterwards. It means he doesn't lose the right. Because he would just say the number, today is 32. He didn't say and so weeks, right? We need to be careful when we reach the day of Lag BaOmer. What is it soon? What is Lag BaOmer? Lag. What's Lag? Lamed Gimel. 33. And the 33rd day, is it right?
Yeah.
Is the day after. That night, Lag BaOmer, people playing music, people start to get married. All the customs, morning customs stops, right? So many people says, today is Lag BaOmer, or tonight is Lag BaOmer, and you have to be careful because you're counting. Okay. Likewise, if someone recited the Mincha prayer late on the afternoon on 17 ER, and after sunset, someone told them, don't recite the Tachnun, since tonight is Lag BaOmer. That person must still recite the blessing when he later counts the days of the Omer, even though the words Lag is a contraction of the number 33. It's the numerical value of 33. Okay. For one thing, he did not count the weeks at all. Furthermore, some poskim rule that one cannot fulfill the mitzvah by saying the letters that represent the numbers that one means. One must say the words that mean that number. Besides, this person had no intention of counting anything. He meant only to point out that this is a day when we do not recite the Tachanun prayer. Okay? For some opinion should know that might be a problem. But according to the halacha, bottom line, even if you say Lag BaOmer, you still count with a beracha. You must with a beracha. If there is a halacha in the Shulchan Aruch, when you open the halacha, it says there, Hayom Echad LaOmer. What did I say? Hayom Yom Echad LaOmer. What did I say? Hayom is the first day for the Omer. Imagine to yourself that I'm reading this halacha in Shulchan Aruch, and today is that day. I say, I just said that. I just read from the halacha. Can I count with bracha now?
Yes.
If someone was studying the Shulchan Aruch, like what you do every day, during twilight of the evening of 16 Nisan, we're getting ready for second Seder night, right? In Israel, there's already Chol HaMoed. And he recited the halacha that reads, quote, today is day one of the Omer. He must nevertheless recite the blessing later when he fulfills the mitzvah, but only after dusk. In which case, one cannot count the Omer anymore with a beracha. What has to happen? So you can just count, but you can't say bracha anymore.
He misses the whole day, the whole entire thing.
He misses the whole. Okay, what does that mean? The whole entire thing.
Like from the night all the way to the following night.
To the next night, from night to night. If someone failed to count an entire night and day, he may no longer recite the blessing over this mitzvah for the remainder of the period of the Omer. as explained above in Halacha 20. Furthermore, he may not serve as the cantor in order to recite the blessing on behalf of others. Yeah, bye-bye. You lost the mitzvah. Believe me, it happens many times. This is why one should not miss a tefillah in a minyan, because we mainly counting in a minyan. And it happens to people on Fridays. When you do early minyan, you get home, you forget. Right, so you leave a silver soda, you leave some sort of a siman, a mark for you not to forget. You know how many times I told my before Kiddush, guys, you need to count Torah, please remind me. They forget, and I forget as a reminder. Everybody forgets. So we had to put a sign. We have to do something strange. Right. One of the trick that I'm using is I'm switching the watch. I'm putting the watch either backward or on the other hand. It's something that you look constantly, okay? So after the meal, when it's already night, I see the watch. Omer, give me the siddur, boom, take it, you know? It's a trick I learned from my Rabbi in the yeshiva. If you need to remember something, he would turn it, the other way or on the other hand. And it's really, really helps. It becomes really handy. Literally. Okay. All right. Okay. What if someone said the correct days, but the wrong weeks? Or he said the correct weeks, but the wrong, or vice versa. Okay. So what he can do? He didn't say it completely right. He messed it up a little bit. So the halacha says, if someone erred and counted the wrong number of days and did not realize his error until the following evening, his status is equal to that of someone who did not count at all for one entire night and day. If someone counted the wrong number and realized his mistake only after the time it takes to speak 3 words about 1 second, the words that we always say is Shalom Alecha Rabbi. This is the time you can fix wrong bracha. He must count again and repeat the blessing as well. Today is 17. You fixed it. It's good. It happens to us when we drink or we eat. Fine. You don't have to do the whole bracha again. If he spoke even 1 word after counting in error, then even if he wishes to correct himself within 1 second, he must recite the blessing again before counting the correct number. If he realizes his error only during the following day, he must count the correct number without any blessing on the following evening and thereafter. He must recite the blessing before counting as usual. Okay, all this applies if he erred both in his counting of the days, in his counting of the weeks. If he erred in only one and not the other, see the following halacha. Bottom line, it's a debate between the rabbis. Some said he fulfilled the mitzvah, some said he didn't fulfill the mitzvah. I will save all this argument and debate from you, and I tell you that he count the next night with a blessing. Because again, it's a fake bracha, maybe it's every day is by itself. So bottom line, if you was mistaken, either the days or the nights or that, okay, so you count with a bracha. You know that there is a rule, what is it, 55, right? The rule is that before I tell you the rule, can I say a bracha over food, Omer, whatever, in unclean area. For example, stingy sewage,
No.
baby's diaper.
No.
It's more common. So I can't say bracha, right?
No.
What if someone is in prison and it's really dirty over there? He wants to count the Omer.
Yes.
What he should do? He doesn't have any other choice.
Yes.
And by the way, when someone wants to say bracha or to daven, it's recommended to make sure that when he holds the baby or a baby, the baby, the diaper is clean. Okay, it won't be appropriate to say anything in bracha when you're holding a baby with a dirty diaper. Make sense?
Yes.
So, someone who has imprisoned during the period of the Omer and was confined to a place lacking sanitary facilities, making it impossible to recite any prayer or blessings, may nevertheless count the days of the Omer without reciting the blessing, even though one should always avoid performing mitzvot in unclean locations. In this case, he has no other choice, and therefore it is permitted. But remember, no bracha. Numbers, count, you can count, you say numbers. Upon his release, he may continue counting the days of the Omer and even recite the blessing, since he did not miss any day of the count. All right? You got it, Samuel? When you were released from the prison? Last week? You're on vacation, you're going back? All right.
One question on Lag BaOmer though.
Yeah.
So, you can get a haircut prior to Lag BaOmer, or only like...
I didn't get there. It's not our topic. Ask me privately.
Fine.
Okay? Because it's the next topic.
All right, fine.
All right. Okay, I teach you a trick. Let me just read it. It'll be faster. If someone does not know which is the correct number to count, but he is sure it is either one of two numbers, 16, it must be either 16 or the 17. But he's not sure it's the 16 or the 17. What do you suggest you would do?
Today is the 16th, 17th of the Omer.
What if it was the 16? So what do you suggest to him to do? It's just common sense.
Ask somebody what...
He has a place that he has nobody to ask.
Lower one.
What? Say both.
Say both without the bracha.
Say both. Right. If someone does not know which is the correct number to count, but he is sure it is either one of two numbers, and he has no possibility to contact anyone to ascertain which is the correct, he should count both numbers, but without reciting the blessing, in case the second number is the correct one. The act of counting the first number would constitute an interruption between the blessing and the fulfilling of the mitzvah. Therefore, he may not recite the blessing. He can't say today the 16th, today is the 17th. You have to say it separately. When he does learn the correct number to count, he must recite the blessing on the remainder of the evening until the end of the period of the Omer. So he can say today is the 15 days, which is 2 weeks and 1 day. Today is the 16 days, which is 2 weeks and 2 days. Today is the 17 days. He covered 2 or 3 numbers, okay? But each by itself. So he will be able to continue counting the Omer. Okay, actually this is the last halacha for today. Be'ezrat Hashem, next week we will discuss the practices applying to the period of the Omer. I don't know if you're aware of that, but you're not supposed to play music, for example, during these days, okay? And no shaving and all this. By the way, there's different minhagim on that. For example, Yemenite never had the custom not to shave or not to. So there's different customs in different communities. We'll discuss all that, Be'ezrat Hashem, next week. Any questions? Okay, so please remember this next topic. What will be the case if his business is to play music, and his part, is playing guitar in a non-Jew band? It happens. I had a guy that played with us racquetball that he was playing guitar, and okay, that was his parnasa, that was his livelihood. What are you going to do? What about a teacher in the kindergarten? Okay, the part of the program is playing music to the kids.
It's okay.
So Amy says it's okay.
I think.
Because you're not doing it for pleasure.
Hold on. You're saying okay because you're experiencing that, right?
Yeah.
So if they do it it must be okay. And you are absolutely right. But let me ask you this. Someone asked me the other day, we answer next week. Rabbi, I feel lonely at home. And playing music at home, it really helps. By the way, it's a tip, someone that has, God forbid, suffer from depression or anxiety and all that, playing Jewish music can really help, can really heal. So in order not to feel lonely, they want to play music. Lonely, I'm a Mr. Lonely. No, so can they, during the Sefira, play music?
Yes.
That and more we'll discuss next week. Thank you.